yeah, heck yeah. Let it go, let it go, let it go. I like that, y'all. I like that, y'all. I like that, y'all. Let it go, let it go, let it go.
Good evening, crypto friends. How we doing out there? Hello and welcome to the first ever crypto morning show cocktail hour. Yeah. How we doing out there today, folks? As you can see on the heat map, we have a lot of green in the crypto space today. And some are hitting double digits. So we'll keep a quick look out for that. And there's a heat map. I will put that in the chat window for you. If you're out there, say hello. Don't be too shy to say hi. And say hello. All right, getting started. Let's get going. Excuse me. Today, top gainer is COMP, C-O-M-P, USD. I don't know why. Oh, we just reset. That's why. I was thinking, like, why are we only up 1%? So we're up pretty much for the day. Let's see. High to low. COMP USD. It is today, right? Yeah. 28% for COMP USD. And we are looking at the resistance level at right at the, we're trying to bust through the $500 psychological number. That's going to be significant. This one is straight up parabolic. And if you know out there, let me know in the chat. Hey, what's going on with COMP? I couldn't find anything newsworthy on COMP. So just straight up parabolic trading. We will be watching the RSI levels are getting up to the overbought area. So keep an eye on that. We had the 1226 cross moving average, and we did blow right through the 100-day moving average. So looking good shape. We're on the 4-hour time frame. Here on TradingView, I'm using the beta version, the beta desktop version. And I'll actually put in the chat right now if you would like to download TradingView for yourself for free. I will let you know that I am using the Pro version. There's you a link. You can get the referral code. You and I get a little bit of things. I'm not really sure. Just a few coins of some sort. Excuse me. But if you've been following the channel, I do suggest that you go back and tonight I'm going to introduce a few more things, a few more indicators that I use. Been using them for years and years. Most technical traders use them. We're going to introduce the VWAP. So let me type that in there to give you an explanation of VWAP, which is the volume weighted average price. And then we're going to also do introduce tonight the price pivot. And I'm going to kind of show you how to put all these things together. I've not used these in the past. In fact, I'll go over here and on the indicator list in TradingView. And as you know, these may all be new to you. So I'm using the Pivots HL55 indicator. And also we'll be using, that's going to give us our pivot levels, and I'll kind of explain those here in a little bit. I'm also using the VWAP session HLC3 version of VWAP. So basically what we're trying to do here is we're trying to, and I'll zoom in, let's go to the 10-minute time frame here on COMP USD. Maybe the 15-minute to get some more clarity there. So basically what the VWAP can do for you is you can tell really quickly where you are as opposed to the average weighted price. So typically intraday, you would use this to see, as you can see, sometimes when you get beneath it, you have it's going to act as resistance. You're trying to get up to the VWAP, and you may be rejected sometimes, what have you. As you can see down here, we rejected, came up, had some volume come through. So this will give you some good indication on where you are in relationship to the weighted average. And just bear with me, we're going to tie all this in, and also wanted to introduce the price pivots. And so this particular indicator, TradingView will calculate for you. So these are swing highs and swing lows, as you may have heard people relate to those. And these they're really important when you're using fib retracement. And we're going to tie all this together. So bear with me a little bit as I explain. So let me go ahead and pop in the fib. I'll have Nightbot help me out here with some explanations. So all these are links here. You can either read about it, or Investopedia is a good source if you've never used fib retracement. We're going to dive into those tools as we introduce tonight the watch list that we're going to be looking at for the rest of the evening and tomorrow. So let's get into it. What do you say? Anybody out there? I see some folks out there. Say hello in the chat. Let me know you're out there. Be sure to like, subscribe, keep this content coming for free. I'm live Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. in the evenings, and Saturday and Sunday at 10 a.m. Okay, let's move on into BNB USD. We'll zoom out to the 4-hour time frame, and now we're going to tie all this stuff together. This looks really busy, so bear with me if you can. So what we're going to do here is we're going to try to introduce to you some entry points and exit points for trades, right? So basically what we're trying to do is find a good time to take a position in a trade, and when's a good time to exit. And if you do have the ability to short sell, it's pretty difficult here in the United States, but I know that Bitfinex and some of the other exchanges, things like that, if you have access to those exchanges and you're short selling, you're probably, this is not the channel for you. This is mostly for beginners and intermediate as you're learning how to trade the crypto market. So basically, if you haven't seen, we do have some previous videos on fib retracement, and basically what we're doing is we're using the Fibonacci retracement tool here in TradingView to we're going to look for when do we expect on the way up. We're right here, you know, we got our pivot down here at the 194.66. There's our pivot. We set our pivot level down there, and so now we have to go over here. I'll scoot this over, and you see we have a pivot of the 282.76, so that's going to be the top. And so we set our fib retracement, so we feel like we're going to go up there, hit the top, and bounce back down, right? So we're retracing back down. So that's what the value that we're looking for in this particular section here. And what we normally think is we're going to retrace back to the 0.382. And this is not a Fibonacci number, but the 0.50, you know, is going to retrace halfway back as it's halfway back. So anyway, we can use the 0.886, and if you don't have these two particular values, you can double click on the Fibonacci tool here once you've put it up, and you can enter these numbers in here. Yours may look a little different. I just use one color instead of the red and green, which is kind of to me it's kind of distracting and annoying because I'm using the rectangle tool to draw entry spots and the spot to exit. So as you can see, if we were scouting out this particular coin, which is Binance coin, we did dip below the buy zone, which is indicated in this green area, shaded area here. If we would have took a position, riding it out with the anticipation for it to go into the sell zone, which gets above the, this is retracing back, so it's going to go up to the 0 and then back down to 0.23x. We're never going to hold out and expect it to go all the way up to the top of the fib. It does, but our expectation is to grab it in the retracement area that we've used over here for the top, and I'll explain that here in a second. So as you can see, we got right up here and rejected. So we're looking for a continuation. So if we're in this trade, we could either, when we see some weakness here, we have resistance here, we could decide to take a little bit off the table or stick it out because we still have some support levels to fall back on. We're still positive in the trade. So we're going to sell up in here, up in this region here. And how we got that sell zone was we use these same pivots, but they're inverted. So this particular one goes from 1 to 0. This one goes from 0 to 1. 1 to 0 top down. So now we're retracing up to here, tracing down to here. So that allows us to use the same values, the 0.786 and the 0.886, to indicate our sell zone. And if I'm going too fast, let me know out there. We'll just keep going. I'll keep trucking along, and then we're going to have several examples of this. And I did, I know this looks really busy, but I did mark the resistance level and support as we're looking at right now. So any questions, let me know in the chat. If not, we'll keep continuing on. Dgb Usd is in our watch list for tonight and tomorrow. As you know, we covered this a couple days back. Let's see, it was all the way back to yesterday morning at 10 a.m., right when we launched the show. We were scouting BNB and managed to, once we broke above this 100-day moving average, we knew that we were in good shape. There's also some fundamental things going on with BNB. As you may know, that Coinbase is about to IPO, and Binance, who BNB belongs to, is, I shouldn't even say, I better not say what I'm about to say. So anyway, we'll leave it at that. But there is some correlation between Coinbase IPO and Binance and BNB. So keep that in mind. You'll figure it out pretty quick. Moving on to GRT USD, another one in our watch list, very similar. So this here's a good example. So what happened here was back on the same time frame. This is actually earlier. We did the very same thing as we did before. We can actually adjust this just a tad. Here we go. Because what we're trying to do is our entry is going to be between the 0.886 and the 0.786 on the fib retracement, using this previous swing high and this swing low. And then, so what we're looking for, as you see, this one blew right through the top of it, went past our sell zone. And so sometimes that happens. And it could be momentum, or it could be fundamental things going on in the marketplace, and you have that continuation. And we can come back to, if we zoom down into our shorter time frames, 31 hour, as you can see, we are on top of the VWAP. That's what we have it here for reference. So looking good shape on that one, on GRT USD. So now what we'll be doing is we're going to scout for a new swing high. So this thing's got to come up here, probably get some resistance up in the on the 100-day moving average up here as it starts to encounter that. So we adjust our Fibonacci tool, and in doing so, as you can see, we've changed our entry level, which is okay because that's going to go out the window anyway, because if we had decided to enter in the green zones, we're there. But most importantly, we have to come over here and adjust our exit to get to accommodate this new swing high, which is trying to take place. So we can come here, adjust this one down. So as you can see, if we were in this trade, we would at least be inclined to take something off the table and then let the rest ride. If we could make it free, we would do that and just let the free money ride. Is this making sense? Hopefully. We'll keep moving on. That's GRT USD is on our watch list. It has been for several days. Moving on to DGB USD. Now, I did want to show this particular one because we don't have these big V-shaped bounces or things like that. I did want to show another mechanism for this is more like you'll see a lot of folks that use trend lines, and this is actually using the what's this thing called? It's the parallel channel tool here in TradingView, and you just basically use the highs and the lows, and you just massage this to touch the wicks, and that's indicating a bullish channel. And so you just basically want to watch this guy just continue to bounce around inside this channel. And if it tends to want to bust through the bottom or top, then you would look for other indicators that would give you some signs of direction. This particular one, just want to point out, has the 100-day on top, the 26-day, and the 12-day moving average. These are inverted for upside potential, but as I did mention previously, that this can happen at times. You have increasing volume, RSI is in good shape, and so what we would do here is we'd go ahead and look for previous price action to indicate to us some resistance. So this one's 0.060, and then we have double bottom on these wicks down here as support, 0.0546. And we are on the 4-hour time frame, and we are using Binance data. Okay. Any questions out there before we move forward? All right, continuing on. Zrx USD. Another one. I just want to point out, just because these are doing really well, they're not necessarily in our watch list. We have been watching these particular coins, and as you just witnessed right while I was filming this, all the percentages changed. These are all, they were double digits. So I do use the, in TradingView, you can click up here on the change percent, and you can click there, click again. You can sort by either if you want the positive on top, or if you want to watch the red to green, you can do the reverse. Like if we were scouting something to go red to green, so if we're looking at ADA, we'll talk about ADA in a minute, or file, watching those to, they may be laggards, we're going to watch those go red to green, etc. So that's how you sort those. Moving forward, we'll resort and head back to where we were, and then moving into the lineup. Oh, I should finish up, sorry. Zrx, we got support here at 1.290, resistance up at this double top here is a pretty tight range at 1.380, and we would want to look and see, we'll have a quick look at the volume for Zrx. Where'd you go? There you are. And as you can see, I have the volume column going here. So 93,000 traded on Zrx USD. Moving on to AAVE. This one's been on our watch list. This is a DeFi coin, or DeFi token, I should say. And it's seeing a lot of good love as it's moving up. Watch for this 100-day moving average coming into play here. So as you can see, very similar. We did the, we could actually move this all the way over here, because here's Back on the 27th, that was our swing low. That was our indicator to watch or measure up to our swing high, which is here. You can see we have that set there, the last one. So we come in, measured up with anticipation of this thing to go up to the top, retrace back, which it almost made it to the 0.38, which is very, very common, and then managed to bounce back up for continuation. So in doing so, we would look at, okay, what's our support level? This thing is still bouncing. It's going to go past the normal retracement. We're probably going to set a swing low right in this region. We're waiting for that to form. And then if you're in this trade, you would have gotten in down here and then took some profit and then let the rest ride, I should say. So I hope this is making sense. If you have any questions, please let me know. And then we're just waiting for this swing high to come in, and then once it does, we can adjust the sell range accordingly. And so we always set it between a 0.786 and the 0.886 Fibonacci. Do we have a duplication? No, there we go. Okay, just checking. So that is AAVE. You do have resistance up at the 398, so we're going to be scouting out this $400 psychological as it moves up into the 100-day moving average. On the 4-hour, we do have some support on this on the wick of this candle up at the 371.440, and then secondary support on this double bottom on the bodies of these candles. Moving on to DOT USD, Polkadot breaking out. As you can see, Polkadot's been on our list. We've been watching this guy as it's doing pretty well. So we have resistance up at the 36.843, excuse me, and support at 33.932. And we could put another, we would think that we have the wick, and then this past resistance becomes support. So good support level there to fall back on should we pull back to retest previous support there. Moving on towards DNT USD. DNT we have been tracking. Not in a trade at the moment with DNT. This particular one, we have 2.15 million traded on Coinbase. So some good volume, but as you can see, that volume is not indicative of anything above average. So in that case, support down to, there we are, previous support at 0.245, resistance 0.2597 for DNT. Let's move on to some of the other ones. We'll have to skip around here because we got shuffled. Let's look at Iota. Where are you there? Iota's been on our watch list. As you can see, we had a double top here that's going to give us some fits to get through. 100-day moving average, you can see we just poked through on the wick of that candle, rejected there, sent us back down to retest support at the 1.17, and then we're trying to give it another go. Slightly above average trading volume for Iota. This particular one's calculated on Binance. On to, let's see, some of the ones that we've had on our watch list. Link, L-I-N-K, USD. All right, we have Link is trying to bust above here. We've got, there we are. Resistance at 28.57, support down at the 26.397. We do have the 1226 cross and a favorable upside momentum. RSI is in good shape, so keep an eye on Link still. Let's have a look at Ethereum. Ethereum's been kind of quiet for the past few days. As you see, we did try to, we've been scouting this one as indicated by all the color on the screen you see. So we're managing to maintain support at 15.11.54, resistance at 16.06.51. And one thing this thing does, I mean, just whether you're trading it or not, it will give you a good indication of where you are. If you're zoomed all the way in, for example, let's say you're buying Ethereum, and you're looking at something like this. You're on the 3-minute time frame or the 1-minute time frame, and you're thinking, you watch this thing. Just not a good example, but you watch it drop all the way down to here, and you said, "Okay, I'm in." Well, then once you switch to the 4-hour time frame, you'll find out that you're up here in the sell zone. Most people are selling as you're buying. So this is a really good way to get a good visual of where you are in the psychology of this price action. So it's just one of 1,000 different kind of ways to put this together, right? So if you're out there, if you want me to chart anything, put something in the chat. Be sure to like, subscribe, do all those kind of things. I will appreciate it. So looking up at Ethereum, so we are heading into the sell zone on the previous trade. So looking to, you'll probably see in the next, what is that, maybe next 8 to 10 hours, a pullback to the 0.38. So we'll be watching Ethereum. Keep an eye on that because it is moving a little bit slower than some of the other ones. So keep that in mind. MKR, one of the DeFi coins, we have been tracking this one. As you can see, it's been on our watch list for several days. We're going to go up. Looks like we're trying to test the, this, as you can see, sometimes this support becomes resistant. So we're trying to break through the previous support. Then we will look up to the 2263.615 or, yep, 615 USD support at 2137.040. And as you can see, we are, as we have it charted here, we are trying to make a new swing high. So what we're looking for is we're going to come down, set a new higher low, and then we can adjust our charting then. Okay, let's see. Am I missing anything? Did we do? Yep. Don't think we did Stellar. Let's look at XLM. Looking for Stellar. There you go. XLM, as you can see, has been on the watch list. This looks like a really good looking cup and handle here coming up with Stellar. And I tell you what we'll do. Let's turn the VWAP off because that's kind of distracting. In this, in the 4-hour time frame, it's really not giving us much information. So let's get that out of the way. But you can see we got some support on top of the 12, then fell down to 26 support. EMA trying to climb up. We did have some volume is kind of trailing off a little bit on XLM. RSI still in good shape. So look for your support. I'm sorry, resistance to be up here on these wicks at 0.4367 and support at 0.42. Tightening range here. Let's watch that and see if we can get some volume down there for continuation to get up into the sell zone. Moving on. Litecoin Ltc. Now this particular one, this is a really good example of using some fundamental analysis with your technical analysis. And full disclosure, I'm in a trade on this particular one. And what convinced me for this guy was basically a lot of buzz and talk about using crypto as currency. And so to me, Litecoin makes the best sense. Of course, I'm a Bitcoin fan. I hold Bitcoin. I'll never sell it. I believe it's a store of value, et cetera, but Litecoin as something that you would spend multiple times in a day makes practical sense because it's the fees are down, the transactions are fast and furious and all those kind of things. There's lots and lots of benefits for that. So I did jump the gun, quite honestly, to get into this trade. But I wasn't holding any Litecoin, excuse me. And so I thought I would just jump in. And if I have to hold on to it for a while, I'm fine with that. Not a big deal, but I didn't have any exposure into LTC. So it did hit down in this buy zone here. So what I'm looking for, this is a 4-hour time frame. As we made it through this resistance level that I had marked. So we're going to come up here. We got to get through. You see all these wicks where people bailed before. And then you're going to have, it looks like most of the buyers were able to sell on this way down, but we may have some overhead selling moving forward. So it's not a real, I don't know what you would say. It's not a real strong trade, but like I said, I'm okay. And if we fall back to the entry point, I'm fine with that. I'll just set a stop just below and exit if I need to. But with optimism, we're looking up into the $200 range. And this is going to be a long-term swing trade. As you can see, I've got a lot of space in there to get there. So going to keep an eye on Litecoin LTC. We're in the middle of the RSI. Volume's doing really well. So that particular one, yeah, like I said, I think I jumped the gun maybe, but we'll see. Technically is not as strong as the others, but I did want some exposure to LTC. I haven't had any in a while. So there we are. And then I think the last one on the watch list has been GRT. Let's see if we can find that fella right there. So, yep, there we are. So as you can see, so we entered into this buy area here, and then we are heading up into the sell zone. And this is the 0.786, 0.886 Fibonacci. And as some of you may have, if you're using defaults on TradingView, you may have the Fibonacci extensions. So those can go up even further. And certainly there's no reason why you can't make it into extensions. But practically you would think that your exit point should be in the strength before you start to get to uncertainty. And as you can see right up here at the top, we have this 100-day moving average to contend with, which is going to provide resistance. So more than likely for me, and this is not financial advice, I may exit a good solid portion of this particular trade. As we've made, let's see what kind of return. I didn't mark where, I certainly didn't nail the bottom. So let's just say we got in right here as we So, you know, 20. So if we sold right now, we're right at the, where are we at? 190. Yeah. So 23%, which is not too darn shabby. But more than likely, I got in as we got past the wick on this candle here, on the top end of this buy zone. So there you go. GRT USD, still keep an eye on it, but probably going to go ahead and this may not make the watch list in the morning, as we are seeing it. As you can see, what we want to do too is we want to look back into some of the other indicators that would give us some more information for our decision. So you can see the volume starting to taper off. We have 25 minutes left on this candle here. So good chance we'll be right at average volume. RSI is starting to nibble up there to the top of the overbought. So you want to exit into strength, not weakness. In fact, we should have probably dropped out on this previous 4-hour candle here. But in fact, as soon as we're done here, I'm going to go ahead and jump out of there. So let's switch over real quick. I did add DeFi coins, a whole new list here, and trying to shake things up a little bit. And basically, you see a lot of replication. And the reason I've done that, and this is a recommendation that I can give you that's not financial advice, because it's straight up just a tutorial on TradingView, is you can see this SNX USD. If I hover over that one, that particular one says Binance. If I hover over this one, let's try to see, there we go. We'll just go ahead and click on it. This particular one is Coinbase. And so what I like to do is I want to see which one of these data feeds have the highest volume, which would give you better representation of price action, right? So this particular one, let's see, we're going to click here because it's in the 45K, has more data, so this would give us better idea of the price action. You see this W pattern here, and you see this wick come right up and got rejected at the 100-day moving average. The 1226 cross was here. So, and then look down at our volume starting to dry up. So that's the reasoning for that. I didn't have a lot of these DeFi coins listed in a list, so I wanted to have that comparison as we go forward, because I am looking at the ones that have the most significant volume. And then we can sort, again, we do here, sort the columns. You can look at the leaders, and we'll look at MKR because that's one on our watch list. It's been there for a while. And another one that's been on the watch list, and we've already covered MKR, AAVE. And there's no active trade going on with AAVE. But we would be looking at, we got to encounter this 100-day moving average. We would take that in consideration, and we're trying to set, we're looking for a higher low to get set up here. Comp USD, another DeFi coin. This one we featured right off the top. It hasn't been on the watch list, but it did. It's been running like crazy. I have no idea what's going on. Absolutely no idea. If you know, let me know in the comment section when you watch the recorded version. And that's about it for me, folks. If you're out there, I see a few still out there hanging around. If you have any chart requests, let me know. I just wanted to jump in and give everyone some exposure to the new. We're going to be dropping in these new tools as we start to learn together how to map out entry points and exit point strategies. And let's have a quick look at Bitcoin before we leave. BTC USD. Where'd you go, Bitcoin? Okay, we'll do it old school. BTC USD. On Coinbase, there we are. So it looks like we are coming up to challenge the 50K again. This wick of this candle did poke above the 100-day moving average, which is really good news. We can actually zoom into the 1 hour time frame because you can see we did get past the 100-day on the 1 hour time frame. We are getting support off of the 12-day moving average, I should say. We have the 26, so basically we're in the right orientation for upside potential. Increasing bull volume. The only thing we got to watch is we are, as far as the RSI is, we are overbought. So we need that to calm down a little bit. But other than that, things are in a good way for crypto. Well, thank you for joining me. Appreciate a like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Leave a note in the comment if you'd like for me to chart something else next go round. I will. That leaves you with something to watch for tonight, tomorrow. Have a great day and good luck. Good luck out there. Thank you.